welcome to my channel. My name is Autumn. I talk about the JET program, Japan, all that good stuff. I have guests today. So, do you guys mind introducing yourselves, what year you are, and where you are from? Either of you can go first, I don't care.
Okay, most of you know me, Evie, from the UK, and I'm now a third year JET.
Wild.
Right.
And I'm Donna from the Philippines. I'm also a third year JET.
Really? Yeah! Did we come at the same time?
I think so. I was 28 when I came here, and now I'm going 31.
You're gonna be 31. You look so young. What? I thought she was like 25. I thought you were 25.
No.
Girl. Filipino people, I swear, y'all look good, okay? Okay, so this video is about driving and getting a license and the process and everything. It is quite difficult for foreigners to get licenses and drive in Japan because A, it's Japan, and because B, it's Japan, and they just make everything difficult. So I have asked them questions because we all have had different processes for getting our licenses. So the first question is, did you drive in your home country?
Okay, yes, I did.
Okay, did you drive in your home country?
No, I didn't. So I had to start from scratch.
So I drove in my home country. I have been driving for like almost half my life. So when you were applying for the JET program, what did you put down on your application? Did you check off that you were capable to drive or what? Because I checked off on it and I was really nervous about it because I was like, please don't put me in the Yanaka. Please don't put me in the Yanaka. So what did you do?
I put yes I could drive. I was so tempted to be like, no, I can't drive, I don't want to drive. But I am glad I did, because I didn't want to end up in a big city, so I was like, please put me in the Yanaka, please put me in the Yanaka.
I was the complete opposite.
Yeah, so I put yes.
And what did you put?
Yeah, I just take no, I couldn't drive.
Okay.
That makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. How long did it take for you to get your license in Japan? Like the number of months?
I didn't even have to wait a month. I think mine took about maybe 2 weeks.
I'm so envious.
It took me 16 days.
Ooh!
16 days?
Yeah, so I went to a driving camp for 14 days, and then I rested for a day and took my final written exam, and I passed for the first time.
Wow.
But prior to going to the driving camp, I studied a lot, months prior.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
because it's so difficult to pass
Yes.
on your first try. And I had a lot of friends, they took the exam for 5th time, 6th time.
Ooh. Oi.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
it took me what, like
I can't remember.
3 months?
Maybe.
Yeah, about 3 months.
Yeah.
And that's because I failed the first time for the driving portion of the test. So I had to then wait a month to take the test. And that was a very, very ghetto time in life because I had to take the bus. And we don't take the bus where I'm from. No. So, no. So I guess that leads me into my next question, which is, what did your process getting your license look like? And I know you touched on it a little bit, so we'll get more into detail. But first, since you had the easier process, go.
Okay, so because I'm from the UK, we drive on the left, same as Japan. Mostly the same as Japan. So I just had to change my license to a Japanese license, which meant I just had to do a lot of paperwork. So that was probably the lengthiest part. My first time that I went to the driving application centre, I just had to submit all of my forms. And I had an interview. They basically wanted to know just the very facts of how long did I learn to drive in the UK, how much did I pay in the UK? Did I go to like a driving school? Did I drive on roads? It was very factual. For that I needed a translator. That was probably the hardest part. Then maybe a week or so later, I went back, had a very easy eye test. Literally, where is this arrow pointing? What colour is this? The easiest eye test I've ever done. Then they printed off my license and sent me on my way.
Yeah,
It was
so easy.
that easy. It's just the paperwork. Gathering all of the paperwork is probably the hardest part, and then finding the translator. But that's it.
Yeah, Japanese people are really particular about their paperwork.
Paperwork.
So if you have all of your paperwork, your T's are crossed, your I's are dotted, then you're okay if you're from like the UK and Australia and any country that already drives on the left side. For the most part, you're gonna be fine. Lucky. But yeah, her process was so easy. I'm so jealous.
Me too.
Okay, and what about your process? Because you started from complete scratch, like, so you didn't
Yeah.
have a license at all, so you had more to do, right?
Yeah, so I actually looked for some schools nearby, but unfortunately they couldn't take me in because I am not fluent in Japanese. So I had to travel far. So I went to Shimane.
Shimane.
Yeah, it's in south.
Oh.
And I rode Shinkansen and plane going there. And then, so in the driving camp, it was 14 days for automatic cars and 16 days for manual. So in the driving camp, there are 2 stages. So first stage would be passing your in-school practical driving test and the 50-item test.
The
Which-
written test.
Yeah, which is called Karimen. So that's the first stage. So after passing those, you will now drive outside the school. And you will still have intensive lectures every day for 14 days. And then there would be a second stage would be passing the final driving test outside the school. But it will still be given by the school. So basically the examiner will be the school, not a driving license center.
Oh.
So it's all in the school, and after that, if you pass, they will give you a graduation certificate, which will exempt you to have a practical driving test in your prefecture. So all I have to do now is to take the 100-item exam, which is called Honmen. So I rested for a day right after coming back in my prefecture, and then I took the exam right away because I had fresh memories. And I passed. Yay! So the passing score for the Honmen is 90 over 100.
Yeah, it's
Yes.
pretty strict.
What?
Yeah.
What?
And even
Oh my
Japanese, even local Japanese people
Don't pass it.
don't pass on their first try.
Well, how did you find the English on the test?
It's difficult. Thank you for asking. So they have very
Weird.
confusing terms.
Oh yeah.
It's really confusing. Like the word center and middle. It's like,
Oh
Yeah.
my god.
Yeah.
I didn't believe. Like I couldn't believe I passed. Honestly.
A bit.
Oh my god. Okay,
Yeah.
stress. Just complete.
It
So,
was so stressful.
I guess my next question to you is for the 14 or 16 days that you were in Shimane, did they provide you a place to stay or did that all come out of your pocket?
So it's like a in-house driving camp. So they provided my accommodation. It's part of what I paid for.
Ah.
So food, and then our classes started at 8 and ended at 6. So it's really intense.
Long day.
And then because it was so intense, I had social media detox. I turned off the Facebook, Instagram, everything that would distract me from
Yeah.
learning.
Wow.
Yeah, it was so intense.
Oh god.
And it's expensive.
Mm.
Yeah.
How much?
So it was peak season in spring, so I paid 288,000 yen. Plus plus my fare going there. But they gave me fare reimbursement for only 20,000 yen.
Oh.
So it would be like 320,000 all in all.
Wow.
That's expensive. But you got a driving license.
Yeah.
Thank goodness.
Oh my god. I had to do the same paperwork to transfer my license because all I was doing was transferring a US license to a Japanese license. However, I didn't have to take the 100 question test because it is a transfer. I did have to take the practical driving test, which I failed because I think in Fukushima in particular, they fail people the first time on purpose. I don't know what it is. A lot of people don't get it. Well, there was like 2 people that didn't get failed the first time, but everybody else fails the first time at least once. Yeah, because I feel like I had more negative critique on my second time taking the driving test, but he passed me, and I was like, really? Are you sure? Because you said I did this, and this wrong, but you're giving me a license. Okay. So I basically had the same process as Evie, only I had to do the actual driving portion. I did go to a class, but it was like a local place. It was like 100 USD per session, so it was significantly cheaper than what you had to pay. But yeah, and that's only so that I could understand the rules, because I did have my IDP, so I was already driving for a year before I had to take the test in the first place. So yeah, it was, yeah.
Oh, did you do the little written test? Like a 10-question one?
Yeah.
Oh.
But it was like super simple. Like, what do you do when the light turns red?
Okay.
Stop. Like, very simple questions. And for that test, I think you have to get a 70 or higher.
What?
Yeah, and able to pass, it's like a 70 or higher.
That's so
Anything
much
below a 70 is like a automatic fail. And then we also had the eye test, which was really easy.
Yeah.
It's like, what color do you see? Blue, green, yellow, red, like super easy. I did also need a translator, like Evie, and we actually became friends. So, so that's always a plus. Yeah, so that was pretty easy. Yeah, pretty much that's our processes are vastly different. My next question is kind of for myself because they've already proven that they did not fail. The next question was, did you fail the test at any point and how did you handle it? I didn't handle it well, okay? I was destroyed. I was so, and honestly it was my fault because I probably should have done my test way sooner than I did.
Yeah.
I did it at the last minute and I failed it and my IDP expired. So then I had to start walking and taking the bus, which if you know me, I was not happy. And it was right at the end of spring, so it was starting to get hot. So I was banking on winning and passing this test the second time because at that point it was starting to get hot. It was not fun. Riding the bus is interesting. For me, I have like 0 Japanese and, well, not 0 Japanese. I have enough to get by, but reading kanji is always going to be like the bane of my existence.
I would say place name kanji is next level.
Yes, so trying to get on the correct bus, oh my god. Trying to get off at the correct stop if you don't already understand where the stops are. Stress. I used to get up like an hour or 2 before I usually would so that I could beat all my students that were walking to school because I didn't want to walk with them so they could see how fat I was and how going up that massive hill took my soul every day. So yeah, I didn't handle it very well. When I got the first fail, I was I cried. I did. I cried. I was not happy. And I was more angry than anything because the reasons that I didn't fail were really trivial. And, like, basically what they expect from you during the test and then how people actually drive are vastly different. And the fact that I had been driving in this country for a year and then I failed the test, it was almost like as if the guy just did not care that I had been driving successfully in Japan for a year with no incident.
And then tell them how you got home.
And then I got home by driving home. So, what's going on here? So, yeah. Basically, that's how I handled it. These two are beast and completely passed all their stuff the first time. But
to be fair, I couldn't actually fail mine. There was nothing to fail in mine.
Yeah, that's true.
Unless I failed the eye test. But
yeah,
I couldn't actually fail mine because I'm British.
I also cried in my driving camp
why?
because some Japanese instructors are also beasts. Like
Yeah.
they're like, oh, and then even if you like to reason out, you have to suck it in and say, "Hi, sumimasen," if you want to pass. So like, because they have a record, and if they are not satisfied with your driving skill, they wouldn't put that lesson up. So they would keep on, like, you have to repeat that.
Oh God,
that sounds stressful.
Yeah, that is stressful.
It was really stressful. I cried to my husband while video calling. I want to go home.
Well, I'm glad you did it. I'm glad you fought through it. Was the test easy or hard to you? So obviously your test was easy. So we don't want to know. Was the test easy or hard? Like the driving test, the writing practical, the writing test. Was it difficult or was it like, this is a breeze?
I would say that for the driving exam, I think the school would be lenient. More lenient because you paid for it. But I'm not saying that all, because I know that there are also some who had extended their stay in the driving camp.
Yeah.
Because if you fail, you have to spend another day or two. But I think they are more lenient than the police officers in the driving license centers. Yeah. But for the exam, the terms that I learned in a driving school were not the same in the exam that I have taken in the driver license center. So I think our prefecture, Fukushima, has old terms. And I remember on our row, we were 7 foreigners, but I was the only one who passed. Yeah. And I think it's difficult. I couldn't sugarcoat it. It's difficult. So
Well, did you do your physical driving test out on real roads or within the center?
She had a certificate, so she didn't have to.
Okay.
Yeah.
So first stage in the driving camp, it's inside the school, and then for the second stage, we had the driving test outside the school.
Okay. Yeah.
And the area in my driving camp, it's not a big city, so it's easy to read the traffic signs.
That's nice.
Yeah, that also helped.
Nice. So for me, my test was kind of in the middle because it's not so much that the information or the material or how to do the stuff is difficult. You're really just trying to appease the Japanese person that is in the car with you. So whether that means you're going to have to drive really slow or you're going to have to do... It's almost like as if they want you to drive as if you are a 500-year-old Japanese person that just learned how to drive yesterday. So super cautious, waiting, checking. It's all the stuff that you would see in books. That's what they want, and that stuff is difficult because that's not how they drive here. So it was kind of in the middle for me. Like, the paper test was easy, and I have test anxiety, so no paper test is ever easy. That was easy. I think the hard part was just making sure I knew what my instructor wanted. And another thing that was difficult for me is because they have other people in the car with you, it makes it so much more nerve-wracking, because like while I'm doing my test, I have a passenger and the instructor, and it's like if I mess up, one of them is gonna see it. So yeah, I didn't like it, but it's kind of in the middle. Yeah, I wouldn't sugarcoat that either. Insane. It was insane. What was difficult about driving in Japan at first?
Okay, so because I'm from the middle of nowhere, Japan's narrow, super ass narrow, windy roads. A-okay for me. Maybe if you're from big cities, you might find that harder. But for me, the craziest part and like hardest part was the fact that at crossings, so when there's pedestrian crossings with traffic lights, in Japan, you can go over them when the light is green for pedestrians. So you can hit people by accident. I haven't, thankfully, but that's not a rule we have in the UK. If people can walk, every single traffic light is red. So having to look out for things that I wasn't used to, like cars randomly stopping in front of me when they were meant to be turning that I wasn't expecting, that was kind of hard. Oh, and sticking to the speed limits. If you are from the UK, this will hurt you terribly, because the dual carriageway upper speed limit is 37 miles per hour. Yeah, cringe inside, please hurt with me, because have you ever tried to drive 37 on the dual carriageway? And funnily enough, the Japanese don't do it either. I'm not advocating speeding, but yeah, even the Japanese, their speed cameras are set to like 20 miles above the limit because they know people cannot stick to it.
Yeah.
Which makes me wonder why they're so low in the first place, but alas, Japan. Yeah, so you will struggle to actually drive the speed limit.
Yeah.
Yeah, please drive safely though.
Yeah, please drive safely.
Yeah.
Okay.
Same as Evie, narrow roads, and then it's already narrow, but then there are also people biking on the side.
Oh, yeah.
So it's like, and then there's incoming cars. What do I do? And then reverse parking.
Oh yeah, reverse parking.
Reverse parking. So I think in a driving camp we only had 2 days to discuss about that. So I literally figured it out all by myself when I was outside. And then tailgating.
Oh my
yeah.
god.
I'm a new driver, so I have this sticker on my car, both front and at the back. But there are still people. That's why
tailgate you.
Yeah, they would like to tailgate.
Like, Japan has like two. It's either they're really, really far behind, or they are right beside like, behind you.
Yeah.
There's no in between.
I don't know. So for me, coming from America, in certain states, you obviously, like, you know, when the light is red, you can still turn on a red light. Well, for us, it would be like if the light is red, you could still turn right. But in Japan, when the light is red, that means it's red. Like, there's no turning. You will get a ticket. The only thing I can explain is this is kind of the same way it is if you are in Philly or New York or DC. There are a lot of no turn on red signs. It's kind of like that, but like all over the country. Something that was difficult for me when I first moved here, other than the whole driving on the left-hand side, because like, who does that? What? No offense. was the complete and utter lack of niceness behind the wheel. Like, there is no tatemae when they get behind that wheel. They are so rude.
Yeah, Japanese drivers are actually insane. Like, you'd think that they were the nicest, like, rule-abiding people. Not on the road!
They
the exception.
They do.
Aggressive.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
aggressive.
Me and Evie have this really funny saying that Japanese people do everything but drive behind the wheel.
Yes.
They will talk on the phone.
Yeah.
They will watch TV.
Eat.
They will eat.
Yeah,
They will put their makeup on. half the time, I don't even think they're even paying attention to what is in front of them while they are driving. Like kids, they can walk around and sit in the front seat.
Yeah.
Toddlers in the front seat, just dangerous, so dangerous. I don't even think that like Japanese people truly use seatbelts. Every time I leave from school and my teachers are like leaving at the same time as me, they're in their cars and gone while I'm putting my seatbelt on. And I'm like, did you just drive off? So I think that was like a really big shocker for me when it comes to like Japan and driving. I just didn't realize that there's a lot of similarities, but there's also like so many different things that are just so difficult in this country. So yeah. And then my final question is, it's not really a question, but do you have any advice for first-time drivers or people who are coming onto the JET program and wanting to drive, and you know, from like your area or just in general, like what's that about?
Ooh. Question new drivers, eh? I don't know, if you're from the UK, you'll be A-okay.
If you're from the UK and Australia, you'll be fine.
And please do try and drive, because it's actually not that bad here.
Yeah, it's not bad driving here.
Yeah, don't be afraid to drive here. Despite all the crazy drivers, it's actually okay.
Yeah.
We have survived almost, 2 years without incident, so it'll be okay.
For new drivers like me, don't get pressured. If the person behind you is fast and always tailgates you, he or she can just pass.
Yeah.
So just stay on what limit or speed you are most comfortable of.
Yeah.
And yeah, watch out for bikers.
Ooh, yes.
Yeah.
And children.
And children.
Yeah. Don't kill anybody.
Yeah. It's more difficult for foreigners to handle like traffic violations, especially if you don't know how to speak in Japanese.
My advice would be, if you are thinking about joining the JET program and you don't care about being placed in the Inaka and having a license, I would suggest getting your license in your home country first. If you can help it. If you can do it, get your license. That way you make your situation a little easier. I also recommend that you don't be like me and you handle your stuff ASAP. So if you are new to the JET program and you are currently here, it is going to be October tomorrow. So you need to be working on getting your license now. Even though you just got here, get it now. Don't wait, because springtime in particular is the busiest time to get a license, because you've got all of your high school graduates that are trying to also get a license. It's going to be difficult. Time slots are going to be ridiculous. So work on it now. Don't be like me.
Don't wait till your IDP expires.
Yeah, don't wait until that IDP expires, because you cannot get another one. I thought you could. I tried to get around it. I tried to get another one. You cannot. Once it's expired, you cannot use it at all. So that is it for this video. Thank you guys so much for doing this with me. Yay. Evie does not have a YouTube channel, but you can follow her for flower pictures. I will put her information below. And Donna here is on YouTube, so please follow and subscribe to her channel, because she makes really good content, especially if you're from the Philippines. She's got you covered, okay? So yeah, we're gonna go and I'm gonna eat something, because I have not eaten anything. So yeah, thank you. Bye.
I have a feeling you never told them that your driving test was actually on the obstacle course and not a real road.
Oh, my driving test was on an obstacle course, you guys.
That was why it was so hard to appease the Japanese people, because you don't actually drive. You do the obstacle course. You don't do real driving, which is what makes it so hard.
Drive.
It's not It's not outside?
No, for
No.
changing the license specifically, if you already have one, it's only on the inside application course. And that's why you have to do like really specific things at really specific places, and you have to learn how to do that specific test.
Because they want, especially on S-curve and crank,
Yeah.
so slow, like
Yeah.
super slow.
Yeah.
Like below 10?
Yeah.
10 to
Below
10?
below 10.
10.
Yeah.
Oh my!
You have to come down to.
I would have stalled my car in the UK if I did
Yeah.
that. Oh my gosh!
Sorry guys, I forgot to mention that. I did my test on an obstacle course and not on the real road.
That's
But
what makes it hard.
A Japanese guy was getting his license and he went before me. And he actually did his test on the actual road. And it was long. I was sitting in there like, when is this going to be over?
Yeah, because I think from scratch you go on the real roads, but for some reason just changing foreign licenses is on an obstacle course.
It seems like it would be the other way around. But yeah, we're going to go because my stomach is about to do the groggly thing again. Bye guys.
Bye bye.